Where's Audrey? Where's Audrey? Actually, no, I'm joined by two of my favorite YouTubers. I've got Mark of Wolters World and Chris of Yellow's Production. We're at a conference here in Tucson and we are hungry.
We are hungry.
So what are we doing, guys?
We're going into El Minuto Cafe.
Let's go in and devour some Mexican food.
Amen.
So we have arrived at our destination. We are at El Minuto Cafe, and this is a place that specializes in Mexican food. It's been in Tucson since 1936. So it has a nice diverse menu. We've been sort of checking it out, and one thing that we're thinking of getting, and Chris did great research on this, was the green chili, right? We're gonna get the green chili cheese crisp, and that's one of the specialty appetizers. We've never heard of it, we've never tasted it, but we're gonna try it here. We've got adventurous taste buds. Gentlemen, we've placed our orders. We are waiting for food. Mark is scarfing down on chips.
They're almost all gone.
So I'm wondering, best and worst Mexican food you guys have ever had?
Let's see. So I grew up in San Diego, California, right next to Mexico. I would say the Mexican food there is delicious. But if I tell you my favorite Mexican food, it's going to be on a trip that I took to Ensenada, which is in Baja California. There is a cart that makes ceviche there called La Gurense. And I never used to like ceviche until I ate the ceviche at this cart. It's just one of those where I eat it and I'm like, this is a flavor that I've never tasted before, which was interesting because looking at this cart from the outside, had my friends not told me to eat at this place, I never would have, because I'm pretty sure they make the ceviche in a bucket, that they've been making it in that same bucket for 20 years.
Oh, that makes it a flavor.
That's right. That they've never cleaned the outside of it. It's amazing. It's cash only. If you're going to Ensenada on a cruise ship, it is walkable from the cruise ship here. Do you want to share your best and then we'll go to worst?
Yeah, my favorite I had, Mexico City street tacos. Anyone you can get. Most people are al pastor is fine, but there's one. It's like suero or saguaro, something like that. Basically, it's like chopped up meat with a little chopped up fat. They fry it on the flat top, put it in there, and you always have different sauces there. You always want to put the salsa on, but be careful because the salsas you may think back home. Well, green is the hot salsa, and the red is the light salsa. No, there it doesn't matter. You need to ask them which one's the picante.
Which one is death?
Yeah, because for them nothing's picante. Which one has more chilies?
Yes.
You want to make sure you ask for the chili ones so you know which one's there. But those street tacos there are you can't go wrong. Also, same thing, cash only. When you're going there for it. So a lot of people go to Mexico City. They're like, because you make card in all the restaurants, you don't think about it.
No, not the street stalls.
Hey,
you gotta have that.
I'm finding out cash is king when it comes to good Mexican food. Okay, and worst.
All right. So another one. Growing up in San Diego, wherever I am, people for some reason want to take me to have Mexican food. Funny. And exactly.
I've never heard of this.
Exactly. I spent a year living in Washington D.C. and everybody that I meet, as I moved there, would be like, Chris, we know a Mexican restaurant for you. And by the fifth restaurant, that I ordered a burrito, and the burrito was square instead of long. Burritos are long.
Yes.
So think of a square. Nearly every Mexican restaurant in DC, they make the burritos square, and I was just fifth restaurant, I'm tapping out. I can't do Mexican food here at all. Yeah, for sure. What about you? What's the worst Mexican food you've had?
The worst Mexican food anywhere in Europe.
Anywhere in Europe,
yes. It's it's funny, you should go and you'll have random stuff in there. They're like, oh, I didn't know they had that in Mexico.
It's a fusion.
It should be a fusion. It has to be whatever that country is plus Mexican, not Mexican first. And I remember my thing is, because I love Mexico, that was my favorite food as a kid. We got all the time.
Yeah.
So anywhere, and I lived 15 years abroad. So it's basically anywhere I go, if I'm living there, I'm going to try every Mexican restaurant just in case. And so I lived in Lithuania for 3.5 years, Berlin for 2.5 years, 5 years in Portugal, and I went to every Mexican place I could go, and they all were trash, except if you're going to live in Europe, you're like, I need Mexican food, but I can't get to Mexico. It's not, and you don't go to Spain for this. You go to London. Because in London, there's people from Mexico have Mexican restaurants there.
Oh, sure.
And there's actually really
more
good stuff.
multicultural there, right?
So when we get homesick, we were living in Portugal as a family, whatever, we would go for a weekend to go to London, and we wouldn't have fish and chips. We'd have Mexican food with it. So that's the thing. So if you're living in Europe and you're like, I need Mexican food, go to London. You'll find good Mexican food there. Because everywhere else in Europe, it's jalapenos. I'm like, no, it's jalapeno.
Yes, my favorite.
So the jalapeno.
And when you do get your Mexican food in London, tell them Mark sent you.
Yes, exactly. Okay, I'm going to start with the worst. Now this is almost perverse, guys. We were visiting with my wife Audrey. We were visiting Lake Titicaca in Bolivia, and we went to a Mexican restaurant. We thought, oh, this might be okay. So we waited 1 hour, no food came. Then we waited a second hour, no food came. So we're like, this is going to be some epic stuff. What arrived on the plate was a bag of Doritos with ketchup. After 2 hours. My head was ready to blow up. I wanted to cry. Yeah. So that was the worst Mexican food I've ever had, and I'll never forget that story. We have Chris to thank for this one. He scouted it out. It looks amazing.
Yeah, this is the green chili cheese crisp. $16 for this, comes out hot and fresh.
It's like the size of a big pizza. How's that?
It reminds me of eating cheese quesadillas when I was about 5 years old. Yeah, and by that, like, just the quality of the cheese and a little bit of, like, the grease that's coming on it. But it's really, like, in a good way. It's, like, kind of, like, flaky and thin.
Yeah, no, it's just respect to this.
Yeah.
You come and get one of these when you're in Tucson, for sure.
Yeah, and it's definitely shareable.
It is, yeah.
Look at that.
You wouldn't eat this for one. You get this for a table of two.
Oh, look at the cheese. It's just oozing off. Ah, that is cheesy goodness. I absolutely love it. The mains have arrived. We devoured the appetizer. What do we got? What do we got, gentlemen? Dad's over there.
I've got the beef tacos. It's ground beef fried together. Very nice.
Oh, the crunch. You gotta love that.
I have the 3 asada tacos, and I'm not sure how I picked them up because it's basically the 3 tortillas are down, and then the meat is overlaid over it. So this is definitely a very involved food. We're gonna try to just go for the top one because we'll go for this one because this one's on top. Yeah, there is no neat way to eat this. Yeah, it's this is a fully involved food right here. But the carne asada, tender, fresh grilled, good beef.
So the verdict, good stuff?
Oh yeah, dude, you gotta get El Minuto Cafe in Tucson, right across from the convention center. My father-in-law, who actually lives here, he actually recommended we come here. And we've met locals here that are telling us what to order, so...
Yeah, they've been here since 1930-something.
Yeah, crazy,
long time.
That's the sign of a good place, when locals are telling you to come. I'm loving it here so far too, and it's got excellent service. The people here are friendly, attentive, and the portions are huge so far. Friends, I've ordered the chimi, better known as the chimichanga, and this is the dish to try here. We've been recommended this from more than a few people. I can't wait to try it. It's absolutely enormous. If you haven't had one before, it's basically like a giant fried burrito. And my goodness, it's got a lot of cheese on top, also some lettuce. So I'm gonna dissect that and dig in. Let's go right into the middle. Oh, and I ordered the chicken one. There's a lot of different kinds you can have, and that was due to the recommendation of a gentleman wearing a cowboy hat that Mark was talking to. So, no better recommendations than the locals.
Can't go wrong.
You cannot go wrong.
Recommended by someone with a cowboy hat.
Let's bite. That shredded chicken is so tender, and I love the crunch of the chimi. That's an upgrade. That's better than a burrito. I will not eat burritos when there's chimis on the menu from now on. Oh, we'll get the flag. We've got a giant flag behind us, but before I tell you what we're doing, how was the food?
The food was fantastic.
Wasn't it great?
Delicious.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely delicious. Locals love it. I loved it. I'd go back again. I'd bring friends.
That aren't us.
Yeah, that aren't us. New friends.
Actual friends.
Yeah, actual friends. Not my YouTubing buddies. No, just kidding.
Hired actors.
So, yeah, what we're going to try to do now is watch a hockey game in the desert. I've somehow wrangled these two, and I'm thrilled. As a Canadian, I can watch hockey anywhere. But it's going to be funny to watch it in the desert.
That's right.
Let's go try.
All right, let's go see it.
You all ready for this?
I'm ready for this.
When's the last time you went to a live hockey game?
Last year I saw the Blues in St. Louis.
Oh, awesome.
As a San Diego boy, it has been probably 30 years since I've seen a hockey game. So I had to come all the way to the desert, apparently, to see one.
You're definitely going to hit with the puck.
Yeah, I will. I'm going to be like this the whole game. They have any hard hats?
All right, let's go find our seat. 120.
Right. Let's go!
I made these two come and watch a game. How was it?
It was awesome.
It was. It was
had a
so
hat
entertaining.
trick,
Yes.
2 empty net goals and
Yes.
multiple fights.
Multiple
Multiple
fights.
fights.
To end the whole game. Too.
3 fights.
And
Yes,
the whole game.
yes, at
I
the
mean,
same
it,
time.
it literally had everything. We
That's
just,
right.
just nobody was streaking. That's
All right. Next time.
Oh, yeah, you
we
went to
thought
the same
about
boat.
it. We thought about it. Yeah. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching. We had authentic Mexican food. We went to an ice hockey game in the desert. I mean, who doesn't do that? Right?
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah, just a normal night out. And I want to thank both of these guys. So Chris over at Yellow Productions, Mark over at Wolters World. Be sure to subscribe to both of their channels. And we're doing collaborations as well.
That's
Do you want to
right.
tell us about those?
So we have one for the dads of travel, one on tips for traveling with kids as a dad.
And if you're curious behind the scenes of what cameras we use for all these videos, including what Samuel uses, then you can check out our other one about the best cameras for travel vlogging.
Awesome. So you guys know what to do. Leave a comment, subscribe, give us a like, and check out those other 2 videos. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.